Okay, good morning, baking and pastry students. Hope you had a good weekend. Uh, I all I did this weekend was pressure washed for like 13 hours. So mine nice to be in the sun, but definitely not as much fun. But getting everything set up for spraying outside on our property. So I'm excited about that. So get cooking outside. Um, as of last week, I updated grades in Google Classroom. Everything was up to date when I left on Friday. So if you've submitted something over the weekend, I'll work on grading that today. I did an entry into Skyward. I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday of last week, and I'll do one today. I'll do it early this week so I can um, help that inform my Tiger Time requests. So just want to urge you, keep your eye on the prize. Still have a good number of students failing, but I also see a lot of progress for students that have been failing most of the semester that are starting to see a turnaround. So I want to first just say thanks for engaging. It's obviously we're coming down to it, so it's important to get things done. If we go back to our previous slide, you'll see we're 72% of the way through the semester. So we're nearing the three-quarter of the semester mark, week 14. We have 2 weeks of labs, and then we have week of the Top Chef activity. And I'm going to be talking about, so it's going to be important that you're paying attention and not on devices right now, okay? Because the Top Chef activity is going to be new to you. So you want to pay attention so you get this information from me. So with that, we're doing rice pilaf this week. So I'm going to talk about the Top Chef activity, and then I'm going to get into the rice pilaf lesson. So again, please have your personal devices away, okay? So the Top Chef activity is basically an opportunity for you to be creative here at the end of the semester. A lot of the time, students will desire to like show up in a cooking class and be like, "I want to cook what I want to cook," and that's all fair and reasonable. But I'm a believer that we got to lay the foundation first, and we got to build some skills, and we do assessments and slats, and use Ruby as content, and my lectures as content, and the labs, most importantly, in order to develop an understanding about baking and pastry arts and about the process of technique related to baking and pastry arts. So with that, you're going to have an opportunity to demonstrate what you've learned this semester. So I'm going to go ahead and just read this. So this creative, okay, this is a top of Bloom's taxonomy creative project serves as an opportunity for you to reflect on your previous theory. So the Ruby, right, the knowledge base, and applied learning, your labs in this course, and to apply higher order learning related to analyzing, evaluating, and creation. And again, we're doing this in 2 weeks, right? And we're doing it the week of Memorial Day, so we're losing that Monday. And so that's why I'm rolling this out early, because you want to begin this planning process, okay, that I'm going to go over with you. You want to begin this process here now, today, this week, okay? You're encouraged to go over the top and have fun with this project, and to prepare four identical plated portions of the same menu. Okay, this will serve as an opportunity to reflect learning at the top of Bloom's taxonomy. So that's that creativity and self-evaluation. Be sure to document the entire planning and prep and cooking final presentation with your photos, the evidence you're learning in the final project slat, as this is a requirement of the project. All images must be original to the project, hence the inclusion of images from previously completed pictures is not permitted. Okay, and again, that's always the case. I see some duplication of pictures in slats week over week, and so it's important to be submitting authentic learning every week. And in this case, it's very important. The other thing is, if you don't participate in the day of the activity, okay, and basically we're going to be dividing up the class, and half the class will be presenting on Thursday that week, which is going to put it at Thursday the 30th. Okay, so groups 1, 2, and 3 will present on the 30th, and groups 3, 4, and 5. I'm sorry, 4, 5, 6 will present on the 31st. Okay, so I'll take half teams one day and half teams the other day. And so just continuing on here, that's a quick overview of the assignment. You'll utilize the Top Chef planning and reporting slat. So the slat has everything you need to plan and record and document. You put your menu in there, you put your shopping list in there. Everything you do you do in the slat. Okay. And then there's as well a ingredient list document that I'm going to show you here shortly that will go over a little bit more in detail about how to request ingredients. You'll read the utilized recipes thoroughly as an individual team. You'll mise en place, so you'll have sometime the week before, I'll have your ingredients here, and then Tuesday, Wednesday for mise en place days. And one thing about baking and pastry different than culinary is your mise en place, you think about everything that we do in this class, it's sort of done in advance, right? So if you're going to do, say, the turnover, right? You're going to prepare that and you're just going to finish it the day by baking it, right? If you're making a tart, you're going to make that in advance, okay? And present it the day of, all right? So you're not going to be necessarily baking something for the entire class period on that Thursday or Friday and then presenting it. You sort of want to have the baking done before we get there that day. And all you do is present. Whereas cooking, it's a little bit different because everything needs to be finished and hot, okay? Ensure that your team is prescribing to 3 different techniques, one for each component. So you've got a main component, a sauce, and a texture component that you're required to have for the baking and pastry activity. All right, so 3 components, the main component, a sauce, and something that's textural, something that's going to give some crisp, okay? Let's put our devices away, please, okay? Something that's going to have a crisp is important, whether that be a cookie, whether it be the crust on a pie or a tart. You want to bring some textural contrast to it. You'll be using the slat and submitting pictures there. Complete the reflection slides and then upload the slat to Google Classroom and select Turn In. Okay. You'll use the Top Chef slat as your tool. All right. So, and I'll get into the deadlines here a little bit more in detail. But again, you'll have time that week preceding the activity. And then you'll have, again, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to present for teams 1, 2, and 3, and Friday to present for 4, 5, 6. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play part of this video talking about the shopping portion of the activity. So let me go ahead and hit play here. Hello, Battleground Culinary Arts students. This is Chef Fritz giving you an overview of the mystery basket activity at the close of the semester. So let's jump on in and take a look at the expectations for this particular learning activity. So I'm going to cruise forward here, and I'm going to. This is I've already done my intro, and again, we're talking about four of the same plates, not different plates, right? You're just going to do the same thing 4 times over to show that you have the ability to do repetition. Okay. And then I want to show you, I'm going to skip here. You're going to see right here in Google Classroom, all the documents you need are under this assignment. They've been there all semester, right? So if you click on the assignment, you're going to see the slat, okay? You're going to have different, I'm going to go ahead and pull up here and put on my screen. I'm going to show you what the slat for this activity looks like. So let me open that up here. And so I'm going to put this up on the screen. Okay, so this is what the slat looks like. So you're going to go through the slat. You're going to have your photo. Again, we've got the overview, as I've already shown you, all the deadlines. So here, all right, so on this first slide, take a look at the screen really quickly. On the first slide, you want to talk, all right, and you'll do this week. You should do this week. You want to have a conversation about what preferences, what labs did you like? Have a conversation around that, all right? Or discuss things that you've baked at home that you like, and you're going to bring that pre-existing knowledge to the table to help you decide. So it says right here on the directions, your team should discuss and consider previous cooking experiences as part of your initial menu planning process. So you're gonna do this reflection as a team. Then you're gonna come here and you're gonna have, through identifying what you want to make, you're gonna put your recipes here. Okay, so the recipes can be inserted in through a hyperlink, or you can insert a copy just like you do when you insert an image. Through that, you're going to have defined your menu. Okay, so I've given you some examples. You can click through. This is going to La Provence Bakery, and it gives you an example of sort of some creative things. This is a local bakery, a premium bakery here in town. So you might get some inspiration off of this, but more importantly, you're going to see how to write your menu. Okay, so you're going to see examples of how to write the menu. So in this case, here's an example menu: chocolate sponge layered with vanilla coffee and dark chocolate mousse covered with dark chocolate ganache. Okay, so that's an example of how you would write a dessert item menu. All right, you want to consider the texture. You want to consider the main item, the texture, and the sauce that you're going to serve with it, and outline those there. Okay, here you're going to do a shopping list. Okay, and I'll get into that a little bit more in detail in just a minute. Here you're going to have a drawing. You're going to import a drawing. You're going to use colored pencils, and you guys are going to agree on what this presentation should look like. And you're going to draw it. I'll have color pencils in here over the next 2 weeks. You can utilize those to sketch your drawing. And this is basically a way to illustrate what we do in the industry. When I come up with an idea of a dish, I have to compose it in my mind. And so, and early on in my career, I drew everything. All right, just trying to visualize the presentation, the flow, and the such. You're also going to have a plate presentation lesson in Ruby this particular week during the Top Chef activity, which will help inform your presentation too. Just like you do every week on your labs, you're going to identify who's going to do what, right? So you're going to outline the requirements of who's going to do what on what day. You're going to do learning evidence for P, for O, for S, and for T. Okay, but for T, you're going to have to do it for the main dessert item, for the textural component, and the sauce. Okay, so you're going to simply outline each one of these three components in the slat, and you're going to have technique images to demonstrate each one of them. Now, and again, you want to think about it. You're taking pictures over those mise en place days. The week after next, you can begin mise en place. I'll have all your ingredients here. You can then obviously leverage mise en place on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. And then you'll finish and plate on Thursday. So you'll have more than enough time to take the pictures. This is not a high pressure activity, especially in baking a pastry. It's a little bit low stress. But you'll have these three components. You'll notice what changes there in the top right-hand corner of the screen is just each component of the dish. Okay, and then you're going to have some general reflection, and that's it. Okay, so you don't have the SEL or anything like that playing a role. Again, it's important for you to be present as part of the activity, okay, in order to ensure that you can get credit, access credit. Otherwise, you have to do the alternative written assignment. Okay, and then this is right here, the shopping list. So I'm going to show you this right here. All right, let me just go ahead and play this portion of the video.
Getting back to the other resources here, here is the shopping list that you'll be utilizing. You'll be noting here in your period and what your team number is, whether you're going to use chicken breast or chicken thighs.
And this is, I'm illustrating this with baking and pastry or with culinary, but it's the same principle. You don't have the requirement, obviously, of chicken and a vegetable and a starch, but you have the sauce, the main item, and the textural component to factor in. Okay, so that's basically how it's different.
And then any other, you'll have the option of selecting 2 other ingredients for your team, and you can note those here. I need ingredients, and then I need amounts. So you'll make those notations in these columns on the form and fill these in. Again, the deadline is Monday at the end of the class period. The other thing that you'll want to look at here is the staple ingredients that I will be providing for you. So these.
All right, and actually, I'm going to put this up on the screen. This is what your baking a pastry shopping list. This is an example of one that's populated from last semester. So I'm going to just bring this down a little bit so you can see it. But basically, you've got the ingredients that I'm going to have right here in green. That just means green. These are go. All right. So all these ingredients are going to be present. So if I was to go back up to 100%, scroll over here, you're going to see all these ingredients are going to be here for you. So flour, sugar, granulated, brown, and cane, honey, assorted chocolate chips, salt, spices, cocoa powder, cornstarch, eggs, egg whites, raspberries, blueberries, bananas, strawberries, mixed berries, items out of the freezer, fresh citrus, so on and so forth. So all these are going to be ingredients that I'm going to have in-house for you, okay? All right, so just to clarify. And then you'll come over here to your designated area for period 1. You're going to put what you're making, but then more importantly, you're going to tell me what you need. And so you get to pick 2 ingredients that are outside the common ingredients that are in the green, okay? So these are going to be here, but if you need something beyond these, you're going to note it over here. Okay. So if you need graham crackers, I don't have those on the list. So you're going to put graham crackers here. Okay. And then I'll generate a shopping list, and I'll have these items here towards the end of the week, 2 weeks from now, so you can begin prepping if you need to. Okay. So you'll do the shopping list as part of the learning process. All right. So let's see.
Assignment. If you miss the final, you'll see the alternative assignment overview, so that you have a better understanding of what to do if you miss this learning activity. You'll also see resources related to Bloom's taxonomy and the discussion about how we're leveraging creativity and evaluative thinking and analyzing on your own as part of the learning activity.
So we've lived in this area. Remember, understand, and apply in the intro course, and now we're testing, taking the training wheels off and testing ourselves up here. Because in the advanced class, right, I don't do any slats. We don't do any Ruby, right? We live up here. Like they designed this meal packing machine over here. This week we're selling about 40 to 45 pre-prepared meals. So they designed a menu, and we're selling that menu to staff. And so again, in the advanced class, we live in this area versus down here.
And evaluative thinking and analyzing on your own as part of the learning activity. You'll see a focus here on a better understanding of utilizing kitchen and herbs that are on hand as part of the learning process. So there's an overview about utilizing herbs and spices that are part of the pantry. You'll also see as a resource here an overview of the pantry ingredients that are sort of common in a professional kitchen. And most of these will be on hand, like chicken stock or soy sauce, honey, sugar, flour, mayonnaise, mustard. All of these items will be on hand as part of the mystery basket activity for you to resource. Second to last, you'll see an alternative sort of resource for you here about how to write a menu. You'll notice that in their mystery basket slat, you're going to have a slide in which you're going to write a menu as it is going to be written in a restaurant. So you want to have more descriptives about technique and degree of doneness and flavor profiles. You don't want to just write basic protein, starch, and vegetable as though it's a chicken, rice, and broccoli. That's not going to sell to your customer in the industry. So you want to write something of the nature of sauteed chicken breast with creamy tomato and garlic Parmesan sauce with pan roasted broccoli, florets, and roasted garlic mashed potatoes. So you want to have some descriptives in there as part of your menu, and you'll see information here in that article that will help guide you in the decisions that you'll make about how to design your menu. Lastly, you'll see some ingredient information here about how to distribute those ingredients to make a healthy, balanced meal.
Not as applicable, right, in our realm, right? It's a dessert, so there's a lot of freedom for it to be imbalanced, maybe.
Related to nutrition considerations. Let me quickly wrap up here with a review of the slat. So, looking at the student sample menu on the right,
All right, I've taken you through this. I've shown you the newer
class. It's basically
the
here at the end of the semester. So I would agree to make is an welcome to call me, contact me over email, or reach out to me over the Remind app. I am here to support you in this activity. But again, this is an opportunity for you to have fun with your classmates and exercise some creativity here at the end of the semester. So I wish you all the best. Have a great time in the learning activity, and I hope this is a great way to conclude your learning activity within this course.
Okay. So continuing on. All right. So that's the Top Chef activity. And again, you've got time now. I think in baking a pastry in particular, I find that brainstorming earlier is better. Okay. So taking that time is important. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here because it's going to ask me, I'm going to run out of recording time. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my recording, and I'm going to pick it up with rice pilaf here next.